It's not to say other forms don't have the same access, but their access is different. It does get very complicated. There's a strong technical side to the unfolding of consciousness. This all happens in the form of experience. You're not going to be handed lists and sheets of facts that you're going to be memorized. The way this unfolds is through the experience of meditation. This entire path rests on the principles that are intrinsic in your form, intrinsic in your being, because your being, of course, relies beyond your form. But there is a process, meditation, wherein we can become aware of profound truth as we explore within ourselves. It is not found beyond or externally, but internally. A consciousness of incredible force, of amazing capacity, reveals itself in the principles of creation. Rather than seeking externally to understand creation, we seek internally to understand ourselves, therefore understanding more and more as the secrets of ourselves are unfolded. A lot of this amounts to, all that ever happens in this kind of path is you simply sit quietly and plunge within. There's a dialogue with this inner consciousness through the path of meditation, enhanced by the illuminating force of the Kundalini awakening, Shaktipat. That causes this process to move more swiftly. In other words, the evolutionary process is accelerated. Like I said, in the human being, the human form is said to be it's a final form, in as much as it has accumulated the required mechanisms, the required qualities to look within and become self-aware. It can become aware of itself as an I that exists in this creation. It's not just instinct. And so this process of involution, of the illumination of this inner terrain, begins. At the moment of Shaktipat, the process of involution becomes absolute. That is what you are doing as a soul once Shaktipat occurs. It is not as easy to get to the point where you begin the path of involution as it would seem. It takes a while to get there. By the time you've gotten to this point, getting Shaktipat, you've had hundreds of millions of incarnations. How many have you been human? It's hard to say. Not that many. Not as many as you're going to have. There's an incredible amount of time involved in this process. But once Shaktipat occurs, something has happened. You have hit a stage of evolution. A person with the awakened Kundalini is more evolved than a person whose Kundalini is not awake. It's a step in the evolutionary process. And it changes the way you experience life. Right now, we are in a period of time where the amount of people whose Kundalini is awake on the planet, other human beings, is far less than the amount of beings whose Kundalini is asleep. And this knowledge has actually fallen into the shadows. It's known as the Kali Yuga, age of darkness, and it is living up to its name. And these are just the people that are doing this, they're the people that are doing this. It's just the way it worked out this time. The dice roll and you take what happens. There are pressures. It's good for you. You'll learn. Nothing to be afraid of. Don't fear it. And there are also ways to improve your lot. One of the ways to improve your lot is to do what you're doing when you're doing it. Once your Kundalini is awake, you have come to a phase of evolution where involution can now begin. A great thing, a great opportunity has, for some reason, come your way. To not take advantage of it and to still wallow in the endless desires and hopeless delusions that you've been completely plagued with for as many incarnations as it's taken is a mistake. It's a waste of time. Now, people do this. It's my job to try to, by logic and force and trickery, close those gaps off as quickly as possible. That's what I do. The reasonable and unreasonable side of the argument. Like now I'm being reasonable. Once your Kundalini becomes awakened, you have what they say gained the path. It takes thousands of incarnations to even glimpse the path, let alone gain the path. I'm not just talking up here, I'm telling you something that's so true. The things that I say comes from a situation. See, I've been very unreasonable for a lot of lifetimes to get into samadhi. I've lived absolutely unreasonably for more incarnations than you can count to get it to happen. And then the qualities of perception that once the samadhi has kicked in, when I see how small the eye of that needle really was, it was the chances were a lot longer than I ever thought. There's a kind of disturbing kind of truth that you become aware of the more you become aware. And so you're getting the benefit of that. It's like very fresh. I'm interested in people that are interested in learning. And I'd like to find those people.